Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for clicking on this video. If you are getting married in 2024, congratulations. I've been a makeup artist for 8+ years, doing professional bridal photography, makeup, all of those things. So I thought it would be fun to do a little bridal makeup look for 2024 brides to maybe inspire them or help them out for a look they might ask for or look for. This is personally how I would do my makeup if I was doing my makeup myself. Though I don't know if I would be, but I'm also not getting married yet, so it doesn't matter. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do or you find any kind of value in it, don't forget to subscribe. If this is not the first video you're watching of mine, please, why aren't you subscribed? Subscribe, we have fun over here, okay? Roll tape, let's get into the video. So I've already prepped my skin. If you want to see that, there is a tutorial up on TikTok. We're gonna go ahead and get right into the foundation portion of this. Now, I want the best of both worlds when it comes to my foundation, so I'm gonna be using a very full coverage CC cream, but mixing it with a very hydrating foundation that just looks flawless on the skin. So I'm using the House Labs foundation in shade 280 Medium Natural, and then Medium Neutral. And then the Palladio CC cream in medium 30 in neutral. I have a neutral undertone. So I'm gonna do a half a pump of this on both sides of my face, and then use this little sample bottle and add a little bit of this. I'm gonna go in with the Palladio flat kabuki brush. It is one of my favorites for blending out my foundation, and I'm going in a tapping circular motion to get the most coverage and also make sure this is really pressed into the skin. Of course, making sure to really get this into the hairline and onto the neck. Just look at that coverage and that finish. That is just beautiful. Stunning. Next, to get the most long-lasting and flawless finish, I'm just going to gently tap over everything with a beauty blender to make sure that I have no demarcation and no excess product anywhere that I don't need it. This is an extra step, of course, but it just ensures that everything looks really flawless and is perfectly pressed into the skin. Taking the shade Teddy Bear in this beautiful Made by Mitchell palette that I accidentally got my fingernail in, I'm going to be bronzing up the skin with the shade Teddy Bear, I think. And I'm using the Hourglass Vanish foundation brush. I love this brush. It is linked in my Amazon storefront, and so is the foundation brush, and so are most of these products, if possible. Again, this is to bronze up. We're gonna go in and contour because those are two different things, and this is a wedding makeup look, so we're going all out. This is such a blendable, beautiful, creamy formula. Jordan got me this for Christmas. I am so glad that I put it on my list because it is better than I thought it would be. Layering creams and then powders is going to give you the most long-lasting foundation base makeup and just makeup in general. Now taking the same brush in the shade Toned Up and dabbing this right on that bone. We just want it to be like the most flawlessly blended we can get it. Making sure to push the product in so you don't disrupt anything underneath. To get a more just flawless finish, you can gently tap over this with your sponge, and if you go too heavy, you can always go back in with your foundation brush and kind of lighten things up. For concealer, I'm going to be mixing a full coverage, very long-lasting concealer with a very hydrating, smoothing concealer. So I have the Tarte Shape Tape. That is my long-lasting, very dry formula, but it gives you the most coverage, and it's the most long-lasting. Mixed with the Lancome Tint Doll Concealer, this is the Hydrating Smoothing Concealer. Not my hair getting in the way when I, like, literally pulled it out of the way. And not me dragging foundation through my hair. Okay, that is my concealer placement. Just tapping up and down, up and down, up and down, while moving my hand where I want the product to go. So the tapping is pushing the product in, and then me moving is blending the product out. Me moving my hand. So up and down while I move. Same with my forehead. Just a little bit of brightness to kind of add coverage and counteract where we shadowed the forehead. Also do the same on my chin, and then whatever is left over on my sponge, I like to just press into the eyelids. This is my eyeshadow primer. It's gonna blank out my eyelids without creasing too bad because it's residual product and give me a really nice base for my eyeshadow. Now I'm going to go back into that Made by Mitchell curve case, and I think we're going to use Melon Sorbet, which is this top shade, for my blush. This is a Wet n Wild brush I've never used before. We're just going to place the blush directly above the bronzer, and we have not used any powders yet. We have not set anything yet at all. And this is going to give us a lot of control over placement because we're able to go back in with creams and our sponge and just blend everything if we need to. I'm going to add a little bit of peach sugar just to the high points and like the apples of my cheek, just right here, to give the illusion of a better blend and a more poppy, punchier blush because it just looks beautiful. Then I'm going to go back in with that makeup sponge and gently tap out the under eye, making sure that I'm hitting the blush so that it blends in really well with that concealer and there's no like demarcation or misplacement. The Makeup Revolution Translucent Setting Powder is by far my favorite. This is also linked. We're going to go ahead and use this to set the under eye. I always tap off the excess on the back of my hand just to make sure everything is going to go on my skin smoothly and perfectly. So pro tip, do that. Make sure that there's no crease under your eye, and if there is, you can just gently tap that away right before setting. I'm also using the same powder to set the other high points of my face. The good rule of thumb is anywhere else you put that lighter concealer to make sure everything is set in place and really pushing that into the skin. The L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Bronzer, I love this stuff. Taking this on a big, fluffy, rounded brush and just tapping this where we bronzed, not really focusing so much on where we contoured because she's there and we are just super flawless and airbrushed looking when we do this technique. The Milani Luminoso blush is for sure going to be the blush I wear on my wedding day because it just has the perfect amount of sheen. It's like a dupe for the Hourglass Vanish powders. The Hourglass Ambient Light powders. So I'm taking this on a Wet n Wild blush brush and just hitting the high points because it does have that luminosity to it. I am going to slightly clean this up with just the teensiest little bit of powder because I don't want this to be a super harsh line or super visible, but I don't want this to come down too far and drag my face down. My trick to nose contour, my absolute secret, is using this Rimmel London Scandal Eyes in the shade Nude. It's a liner. Blending this out with my finger, and it's like I contoured my nose and spent forever doing it. It just adds a bit of subtlety and just, it's so easy. Now that we have most of our powders and creams on, I'm going to drench the face. A long-lasting setting spray, the Hourglass, whatever it is that you need for your skin. If you need mattifying because you have oily skin or you need dewy because you have dry skin. I'm using a dewy one now because I'm going to use a mattifying one later. And this is just my preference. I'd rather it be hydrating now and then be able to go in and mattify it and add more powder if I need to later. I can't really add the dew later as well as I can mattify myself, so that's the order in which I like to do this. Now I'm going to go back into the curve case and use this darkest shade on a little shadow brush because using, again, a cream and then a powder is going to give us a lot of depth and longevity and look really blown out and flawless and beautiful. This is so blendable, so that's why I'm going to use this. And we're going to put this right in the outer crease of our eye, and don't worry because it's gonna look scary at first, and I did not set my eyes. I just put concealer on them because I want a lot of payoff, and we're using a cream and then a powder to get the most long-lasting makeup out there. Now I'm going in with a clean brush and I'm gonna go in with circular motions and start to really buff this out. I do want this to come out at an angle because it elongates my eyes and it just makes them look longer and gives me kind of that sultry cat eye effect. Now, of course, it's still a cream, so you're gonna get little spots where it's dewy and it might make you think that it's not as blended as it actually is. I'm gonna take this Morphe X Abby Roberts palette. It's just a beautiful color selection. I'm gonna take the shade Chalky because it's a very beautiful chocolate brown color. Making sure to coat the brush fully and dusting it off. And just setting this brown with a brown eyeshadow. Making sure to really get in the crease, really buff this in so that that powder is set and we still get that really, really flawless, incredible blend. After blending all of that out as best as I can, I'm going to take this black on this very tiny little pencil brush and just hit the lash line, kind of angling it out to mimic the shape that we created, but don't blend it too far because I don't even want you to know there's black on my eyes. I just want it to accentuate the shape and add a bit more depth. And of course we're going to be wearing lashes, so that's going to help hide this. It's just going to be very, very subtle. Now I'm going to go in with a very cream neutral shade. And I'm going to go right in the crease here, in the inner 2/3 of my eye, to just really tone that brown down when it comes to the inner corner. It's also going to help give it a really nice blend. Kind of add it to the tops here. Really light pressure because we don't want to move around anything we've already done. Then I'm going to go into a very bright white and tap this onto my eyelid. Once I've tapped it, I'm just going to go in and make sure that my crease is blended. So kind of just tap it on my brow bone and then go a little bit lower and make sure that it's really blended in with that. And you can go back into that cream color to give it like a medium gradient, just to make sure everything's like blended and best friends and meshes together. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer we used under the eye on a concealer brush and create a little bit of a bright inner corner. I don't want this to be a super harsh, full-on cut crease, but I do want a little bit of definition on the eyes because it can give a really pretty illusion. And I do want it to look like I'm wearing eyeshadow. I do want it to be, you know, a little bit special. So kind of just pulling this halfway through. And depending on the shape that you do, you can really manipulate the way that your eyes look. I'm going to mix the cream and the white shade and set this concealer with a mixture of that. Because the cream's a little too dark, I still want it to be a bit bright. But the white is too stark, so it gives me like a bright cream shade. Just to make sure that's set and in place, and you can kind of go out of the lines with it because it's going to give it a little bit more of a blurred effect. Add a little bit of a transition shade in between where the concealer and the darker brown meet. Taking a bit of like a camel colored shade like we just put in the center of the lid and using this on a very tiny like fine detail brush and just buffing this on the lash line. I'm going in with a cream shade now just to make sure that this is super, super blended. The Lash Idol mascara from Lancome has never failed me. It doesn't flake or smear or smudge, and it comes right off if you accidentally get it somewhere you didn't want it to be. The most important part is that your bottom lashes are evenly and fully saturated. Most people add a sparkly highlight to their inner corner, but I'm actually just going to add a bit of white eyeshadow to add to the awakeness and openness of my eye. My most favorite lashes are these lashes I get from Amazon. They come in a pack of 30. There's 6 different styles and 5 of each style, I believe, or the other way around. And it is the best way to buy lashes in bulk. Always have something for every look and always have something on hand. I think I'm gonna use the style 3D 246. It's very flattering. Now, while the glue dries on my lashes, I'm going to use this Pacifica Set and Protect Matte Sheer Setting Spray. Also, it has SPF in it. I always know it's never going to mess up my makeup because it's so fine of a mist. Now I'm just going to obviously apply the lashes. This is why I didn't put on top eyeliner though. You can tell it just adds dimension. And then I don't have to worry about getting it perfect. This lash band almost gives it the appearance that you're wearing top eyeliner. Now, as far as lip and lip liners go, this is the Huda Beauty Lip Contour 2.0 in Warm Brown. They have a pinky brown one as well, but this is one of the most long-lasting lip liners I've ever used, so unless I come across one that's more long-lasting, this is what I'll be using. So this is the YSL lipstick, the one you can get engraved. I have it engraved, and I got a shade that I might wear at my wedding because I thought it would be a cute wedding prop if I get wedding photos. But this is the shade, I think, 62S. It is their Rouge Shine lipstick. Apply this to the lips. It's so smoothing and so flattering. It also smells incredible. It's very hydrating and reapplicable, which is why I would go with a lipstick stick. And this is like the most color that I would probably wear on my lip. Is that something that you would venture out and do? Or do you wear a bold lip on the Huge? And so that's you're thinking about wearing a bold lip. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Alright guys, that is my finished bridal inspired 2024 makeup look. I hope you enjoyed this video. We had fun chatting. I had fun. If you guys liked this video or found any value from it, please give me a thumbs up. It's a free way for you to support and it helps other people see my content, and I'm working so hard at growing this YouTube channel, so I really, really appreciate every like, every subscribe, every comment. It means a lot. It might seem like it doesn't make a difference, but it really does make a big difference. So thanks for watching, and let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you in the next video.